Before you say it, yes, we have uploaded this video before, but we made a few mistakes. Releasing it the weekend before Christmas was not a great idea because you lot were out shopping, visiting family and everything else, and it just didn't sort of surf the wave of the algorithm of YouTube like it normally does. We also put out as our primary thumbnail something a bit different, so that probably didn't help either. So we're giving it another go. So if you've watched it before, you're obviously welcome to enjoy it again. Otherwise, please enjoy our next episode of the search for the cars from Chop Shop.
To be honest, it's a terrible car and it's a terrible boat, but it sort of just about crosses the line of doing both at the same time.
Welcome to another of our searches for the cars from Chop Shop London Garage, the programme where Leepu the designer and Bernie the mechanic took chunks out of cars and each other. On this episode we're going to concentrate on just one car, the surf car, because we've got an interview coming up with its current owner. And not only that, I'm going to show you what I believe is the most epic MOT pass advisory, unless you can prove me wrong. Keep watching. Before we dive into the search for the surf car, something important's happened. Listen to this.
Hi Oscar, this is Bernie from Chop Shop. If you really want to know what Chop Shop is about, the things you need to ask, give me a call. Okay? Bye, sunshine.
So what are your thoughts, guys, on that? Would you like to hear more from Bernie? Looks like he's up for telling us a bit more what went on behind the scenes and so on. Could be interesting. What questions would you like to ask Bernie? And please make them sensible ones. Anyway, let's get back to the plot. The surf car. Now, this episode first aired in October 2007, so quite a while ago now. And this car, as I already mentioned, was designed for the surf market down Newquay and Cornwall, idea to put their surfboards in the back and so on. This car first ended up post-show in the hands of Rodders. Remember him from the last episode, the guy that had actually purchased quite a lot of the cars from the show. He sold it on. Unfortunately, he can't remember who to. However, he does have a picture here of when he collected it, along with the Angel Cab. And the Angel Cab, we've got an update coming in our next episode, so make sure you do whack that subscribe button. Now, I do have a registration number for this pickup, and it is K989AOG. And quite interestingly, it had an MOT in December 2008, which it passed with just one advisory, a noisy exhaust. So MOT examiner obviously gave that a rubber stamp. It then appears in basically the background of the pictures for the sale of the Bentley on eBay. And by the number plate the Bentley is showing, the DJI one, I can tell this picture was taken somewhere in 2009 or 2010. And at this point it was up in the northeast of England in Durham, so it's had quite a move there. It next appears having a MOT attempt at the end of May 2012. And it then goes back a couple of days later, beginning of June, and passes. However, this pass includes what I believe is the most epic advisory ever on a car that's passed an MOT. I challenge you guys to come out with a better one. However, on the advisories for this car, it said, this is two cars welded together. You've got to wonder, with that kind of advisory, how it still passed, but hey, they obviously considered it safe, so it got a rubber stamp. It then has subsequent advisory-free passes in October 15 and January 2018. And the last thing I found on this car originally was the fact that it was up for sale on eBay in Blackpool in 2018. And amazingly, we can chat to the person who purchased it. Let's quickly change to studio mode. And I am so pleased to be able to welcome Charlie, the current owner of the Chop Shop surf car, to the channel. Welcome, Charlie.
Hello.
Thanks so much for agreeing to do this. Please tell us, how did you first come across the surf car?
I bought the car on eBay. I forget how long ago now. So I think you've done more research than I have, to be fair. I've had it 5 or 6 years, have I?
Yeah. From my estimations, you got it in about 2018.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And do you remember what you paid for it?
I think it was around 1,200 quid, there or thereabouts.
So there's all these wonderful things on eBay to attract us. What on earth made you go for the surf car?
Oh, I've got a few weird and wonderful contraptions, and I think someone just sort of tagged me in it and said you should buy this, and I agreed, and then went and did it.
So when you got it, what had it been painted blue? Because originally, of course, it was white with those dots over it.
Yeah, it was blue when I got it. Yeah, it was blue when I got it originally. Pretty much as you see it, really. Yeah, someone had painted it from the white with the spots. It's a bit of a shame, but it's neither here nor there.
So you go and get it, bring it home. What did you do with it initially?
Initially, a quick drive around the yard and sort of look at myself in the car and wonder what I'd done.
But after that sort of late night eBay buyer's remorse, what did you do with it initially?
I stickered it up with my business advertising briefly. Took it to a few local car shows, and I was going to park it at the side of the road and leave it as an advertising piece, but I couldn't tax it. So the DVLA were being difficult.
Oh yeah, I've touched on this actually in a couple of recent videos. The Vive gets sent off and DVLA become difficult. And well, I suppose in this case it was actually two cars welded together, so you could have ended up with two V5s.
No, I didn't get one for the blue one and one for the white one, unfortunately.
Yeah, they become really difficult. I want to know in detail what all the modifications are and sit on the V5 till then.
Yeah, they were asking all manner of questions. A big fat wad of paperwork got turned up, and it was all well beyond my pay grade to try and get it sorted. It's like I say, it's not a very good car. It's got 6-inch wheel spaces all round, and it doesn't drive very good, as I'm sure you can imagine. So it was never going to be a road car as such.
And I suppose the sort of two cars welded together advisory probably caused a bit of an alert down at DVLA at Swansea.
Yeah, I'd like to think that MOT tester someone had a word with him, I think.
So you've had it a little while. You've used it for a bit of business advertising, and you've had it left in the corner of your yard. What on earth triggered you to suddenly decide you were going to make it a amphibious floating car?
I can't remember what the sort of final straw was. I built one before out of a little Suzuki SJ, but that looked absolutely terrible. I'll try and find a video of it or a picture of it at least. And expanding foam everywhere, 25-litre drums tied to the front of it. It was appalling looking, but it sort of worked. So I thought I'll build a better one after that Mark II and make a nice tidy job of it. Was the plan.
But to float, obviously something needs to be watertight, and it's been sat in the yard for a while. What was it like on the rust front?
Yeah, there was a few holes in the sills. When they originally made it, they test drove it up and down the beach on the final sort of, here's what we've made. And there was an awful lot of sand still in the sills. It was just sort of falling out of the rust holes, to be fair. But it weren't no major problem. Expanding foam is a brilliant tool for filling colossal holes.
So for anyone considering making their car amphibious, that's your number one weapon of choice, is it?
Yeah, they'll use a lot of Celotex, sort of household insulation, that sort of foamy stuff, jammed that everywhere I could find a hole, and then filled in the gaps with the expanding foam. There's a little over 100 cans of expanding foam in the car.
Oh, wow. Well,
Plus all of the Celotex and the insulation and stuff. It's unsinkable in my book.
Well, with all that in it, it sounds a fair chance you're right on that one. So you drive the car from inside like you would normally do, but then you climb in the back and you've got the steering wheel for the boat side of it, which controls the outboard.
Yeah, that's the one.
So you just literally hop in the back and drive it as a boat.
Yeah, the tailgate still opens, so you can drive it in, then quickly dive through at the back through the tailgate and get the boat part working pretty sharpish before you crash into an expensive yacht or whatever as you're drifting down the river trying to get it going.
Well, when I first saw the pictures of you on the Thames at Henley, I thought you were at like the really posh regatta, and I thought, well, if you turn up in something like that, they'd probably sort of torpedo you.
Yes, yes. To be fair, the traditional boat festival is not much past that. It's pretty much the same sort of thing. But I'm not entirely sure how I managed to get in there, to be honest. I was very much the odd one out.
So, what was their reaction to you turning up in that?
To be fair, most people, sort of everyone I spoke to, loved it. To be fair, it's good to see something different. Was what the general consensus was. He actually won the award for the most eccentric boat on the Thames at its first outing at the festival there. So I had to go up on the stage and accept that, which is quite good.
Well, to be fair, that's pretty impressive. And you've also told me that you've actually won some money off Bernie over the boat.
Yeah, when I was building it originally, I was speaking to Bernie on Facebook, and he said, I'll lay a tenner it sinks. So in the process of building it, I got some stickers made up, and I put that on the bonnet. I put Bernie's quote, I'll lay a tenner it sinks. And then, it didn't sink. So a few months later, or a year or so later, I caught up with Bernie at a car show down Welland Garden City. And he seen the car, and I said, come on then, let's see your money. And he paid up, bless him. And I've stuck it out of the bonnet. So that's part of the car's history. Bernie's tenner.
Well, that's absolutely brilliant. So now you've sort of got it working as a boat. Does it still drive with the original sort of petrol engine in it?
Yeah, it's got the original 1.2 petrol engine. It's pretty gutless, but it just about does the job.
So is it better, would you say, as a car or as a boat?
To be honest, it's a terrible car and it's a terrible boat, but it sort of just about crosses the line of doing both at the same time.
Okay, I guess that's probably a fairly good way to summarise it. And you've not only had Bernie look at the boat, you told me you even had the car's original designer Leepu cast an eye over it.
Yeah, he come all the way over from California one night, and he met us at a local Indian takeaway. One of his friends, he took us out for a meal, and then he come back and stayed the night at the B&B at the farm, and then we took him out. He was a water park. We took him to some lakes, and took him out on the lakes for the day. It was brilliant fun.
And yeah, he had, by the look of it, a little bit of a challenge getting into the driver's seat, but you did manage to get him out onto the water.
Yeah, he's very difficult to get in and drive. The seats don't really adjust. The window's not particularly big. It takes a bit of shoehorning yourself in. So he was much more suited on the back in the boat part of it. But I think it was the second run of the day, I launched it into the boat, down the boat ramp into the water, pretty much flat out, and the bow wave come and smashed the windscreen. So that folded that in.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I suppose you didn't really allow for that in your sort of original design concept, running in at full speed.
No, I suppose there's just a limit of how fast you can go into the water, and I exceeded that limit on that occasion.
And I understand you've tried running it up the drag strip a couple of times as well.
Yeah, I've always been foiled by something or other. This time it was arm restraints I didn't have, but there's always some hoops you got to jump through, and hopefully next year is the one. We've proved it on water. Now can we prove it on land? Well,
to be honest, I look forward to seeing that. And you mentioned next year. What are your future plans with the car?
Well, I don't know quite that yet next year, but at some stage, I mean, the ideal goal is to cross the channel with it. That's the big one.
Wow, that is certainly a big idea, and I'm sure a lot of us remember the damper van and Toyota from Top Gear having a go at that a few years ago, and I think it was only the Toyota that made it, so that's quite a challenge.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy, but a good reliable outboard. If anyone wants to sponsor me a good one, and feel free.
Well, hopefully someone out there watching this might be able to help you out, so if you can, please do get in touch and we'll pass your details on to Charlie. What can I say? Charlie, it's been absolutely amazing. Thank you for taking the time out to talk to us. It's really appreciated, along with all the photos and videos you provided us with. I think everyone at home would have loved it. and also the fact that not only has one of these chop shop cars survived, it's gone on to be developed way beyond its original sort of design concept.
Yeah, thanks for getting in touch. I look forward to seeing what other cars you manage to find and see how many are actually out there.
Well, for that you need to keep watching. Thank you again so much, Charlie.
I look forward to it. Keep well.
Right, let's transfer back to normal mode. Wasn't that just a great interview there with Charlie? And I'd also like to thank Treacle Town Media for allowing us to use their footage to illustrate some of the stories Charlie was telling us. And next time we're going to do the last two cars that we haven't covered yet, and we're going to cover a load of updates from the information that you guys out there have helped provide to let us know what's happened to some of these cars that we couldn't quite track down. So make sure you do hit the subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching.